and we'll start it off down in Tampa as the Philadelphia Eagles roll to a 3-0 start, 25-11 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know this is the NFL, any given Sunday, any given Monday, but man, if the Philadelphia Eagles just don't start to resemble an SEC team in college football, and I don't just say that because their defense is littered with Georgia players, and I mean, they got SEC guys all over the place. Devontae Smith is a Bama guy. A.J. Brown went to Ole Miss. It reminds me of watching an SEC blue blood play when they get into these games. They're loaded on both lines. Best offensive line in football, paves the way for 200 more rushing yards. It's the 11th time they've done that in the last year and a half, most in the league. Defensive line, again, absolutely stocked with mostly Georgia players, it seems like. They terrorized Tampa Bay quarterback Baker Mayfield. They record a safety in this game. If you're a college football fan, this is what we call a crock potting. And what is that? What does that mean if you're not familiar? What do you do with a crock pot? Throw a hunk of meat in there, you set the temperature on high for 4 hours, and you leave it, and what happens? You can pull that thing apart with a fork 4 hours later. That's what it's like watching the Philadelphia Eagles play football. This thing doesn't start off smoothly. Eagles and Buccaneers trade blows for most of the first half. For the slightest of moments, it looked like Tampa Bay had a chance to make this a game. Mike Evans bobbles a would-be touchdown pass that could have given the Buccaneers an early lead in this game. But again, the crock pot method, as this thing goes, the Eagles just exerted their dominance. DeAndre Swift has another breakout performance. He rushes for 130 yards in this game. Jalen Hurts, not his best night throwing the ball, and he still finishes with 277 yards and a touchdown. Touchdown to Olamide Zaccheaus, who Jalen Hurts had 8 seconds to throw from the pocket. That was a theme. If the Eagles weren't plowing over the Buccaneers defense in the run game, Jalen Hurts was just hanging in the pocket 8, 9, 10 seconds, waiting for somebody to break open. It's not something that's supposed to happen in the NFL. We talk about your internal play clock being 3, because that's typically how much time you have to throw before somebody decks you. That just wasn't the case for the Philadelphia Eagles. They did whatever they wanted to. And I think that's the scary thing. It reminds me again of a dominant college football program that if you're the Eagles, you finish this game, you're 3-0, you win by 14 points and it wasn't that close. And you say, we could play better. We weren't hitting on all cylinders. We left some stuff out there. They left a couple touchdown passes out there. They tried to get tricky with a fake tush push pass. Jalen Hurts trips over himself and it doesn't happen. But that's the, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it not clicking, whether you want to call it rust, it doesn't matter. Not playing your A game has been a theme for this team for 3 weeks, and they are 3-0, and they beat the Buccaneers up from start to finish. Tampa Bay, like I said, I think early they're going to feel like there were some missed opportunities. I mentioned the bobbled touchdown by Mike Evans. Rachaad White also had a very costly fumble at the end of the first half. Buccaneers pick off Jalen Hurts and have a chance to maybe get some points at the end of the half. Running back Rachaad White fumbles it right back. The Eagles go get a field goal, and they've got a 10-point lead. And once you've got a multiple possession lead, the Eagles just teed off. I mentioned the safety. It wasn't a gaudy night from a pass rush perspective. They sacked Baker Mayfield twice, but the Buccaneers just had no time to do anything. Baker was flustered all the time. Any third down conversion he picked up was typically running for his life doing it. The Bucs ran for 41 yards on the night. Another big night from Jalen Carter. I mentioned the Rachaad White fumble. Jalen Carter forced that. Stuffed the run game. Absolutely looks like the guy we thought he was. Looks like the guy where we said, I don't understand how the Eagles got this guy all the way at 9. 2 of the last unbeaten teams in the league heading into this game. There were 4 left heading into Monday night. It's now down to 3. The Dolphins, the 49ers, the Eagles. The Buccaneers were technically unbeaten, but I think you saw that there's levels to this thing. I don't think anybody truly expected Tampa Bay to win this game, and the Eagles really flexed their muscles to show why. AJ Brown finishes with the quietest 9 catches for 130 yards you'll ever remember. 11 points for the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers' lone touchdown comes midway through the fourth quarter when it's 25-3. Oh, and what did the Eagles do after that? Probably the most impressive thing they did all night. The Eagles got the ball with 9.5 minutes to play in this game, and they just didn't give it back. They march all the way down the length of the field, 15 plays, 9.5 minutes, just bleed that clock out. They can run the ball. They can protect their quarterback. Their quarterback can hit throws when he needs to. Defense is suffocating. Jake Elliott hits a long field goal for good measure. This team has it all. And they didn't even play that well. It reminds me of watching a Georgia or an Alabama. We'll see if they can take it to another level, because if they can, it's absolutely is looking like a team that has another deep playoff run in them. We'll see where it goes from here.